Hello, this is part 2 of finding the LCD. So let's just continue. So example 7, find the least common denominator for the fraction or rational function do not solve. Okay, so we have this 105 minus W10 over 15 equals to all of this. So first step is we got to make the bottom in the most primest form. So let's look at 5. Is 5 prime? Yes, it can't not be broken down. Is 15 prime? No, it's not. It could be broken down as 5 times 3. What about 10? Is 10 prime? No, it could be broken down at, well, actually, yes. Wait, no. 10 can be broken down as 5 times 2. And then what about 6? Can 6 be, is 6 prime? No, it can be broken down as 3 and 2. Okay, so these are all to the power 1. So that's the first step, is put it in the most primest form. So let's look at our base 5. Do you see repeating base of 5? Yes, I see it here, here, and that's it. Since they're both to the power 1, just bring it down. Now let's look at the base 3. Do you see anywhere else with the base of 3? I do. I see it here, and I see it here. So they're both to the power 1, so it's just 3 to the 1. And then the base 2. Do you see anywhere else with the base of 2? I do. I see it here and here. Since they're both to the power 1, it's just 2 to the 1. Okay, so put it all together. 5 times 3 times 2 is 30. So your LCD is 30. Okay, let's move on. Example 8, find the least common denominator for the fraction or rational equation to not solve. So this time we have a fraction. This is a rational equation. So let's find your LCD because it has an equal sign. So yeah, we got to find the LCD in order to solve for y so we can get rid of the fraction. So we're just going to find the LCD. So in the bottom, are they in the most primest form? I believe so, because y minus 2 is actually one term. Don't be fooled. It's not two terms, it's one. It's like y minus 2 to the power of 1. Y minus 8 is actually also one term. It's actually y minus 8 to the power of 1. And then y minus 8 is also one term. So it's technically in the most primest form. So let's look at our base. So let's start with the base y minus 2. Do you see anywhere else in the bottom with y minus 2? I don't. So bring it down. What about the base of y minus 8? Do you see anywhere else with the base of y minus 8? I do. I see it here. But since they're both to the power of 1, it's just going to be y minus 8. Okay, so this is your final answer. Okay, let's move on. Find the least common denominator for the fraction or rational function do not solve. So this is also a rational equation. So first we got to check if it's in the most primest form. Z plus 1, that's one term, it is. Z plus 2, that's one term and it can't be broken down. Now this one, z squared plus 3z plus 2, that can be factored, right? It's not in the most primest form. It could be factored out as z, 2, and 1. So that could be broken down as z plus 2, z plus 1, right? So let's start with the base z plus 1. Do you see anywhere else with the base of z plus 1? I do. I see it right here. Since they're both to the power 1, it's just going to be z plus 1. What about the base z plus 2? Do you see anywhere else with the base of z plus 2? I do. I see it right here. But since it's to the power 1, it's just going to be z plus 2 to the power 1. Oops. Okay, so that is your LCD. So in this situation, you do have to like factor it. So yeah. Okay, let's move on to example 10. That's example. Okay, so example 10 is 3 over x plus 1 minus 1 over 1 minus x equals to 10 over x squared minus 1. So let's see if we can factor this. X plus 1, I think that's the most prime as can be. 1 minus x, that looks a little bit strange. What I'm going to do is, this is equivalent to saying negative x plus 1. And for some reason, I'm going to factor out this minus because I know I want it to look something similar. So I'm going to factor out this minus. So it's really going to be minus x minus 1, right? So this minus, you took out a minus, so you have to bring that up. So this minus comes up here, but when you have a minus and a minus, that becomes positive, okay? And then x squared minus 1, that is a perfect square that can be broken down as x plus 1, x minus 1. So your LCD is, let's look at our base. We have an x plus 1 here, and then I also see it here. So since it's to the power 1, it's just x plus 1. Let's look at the base x minus 1. Do you see it with the base here? I do. I see it right here. Since they're both to the power 1, it's just x to the minus 1. Okay, so that is your LCD. So you did have to do some factoring. Okay, let's move on to the last example. Okay, so we have 4w minus 1 equal over 3w plus 6 minus w minus 1 over 3 equals w minus 1 over w plus 2. So let's find the LCD. So check if it's in the most primest form. So 3w plus 6, is there anything you can do with that? Yes, you could take out a 3, right? This would be w plus 2. This 3 is just 3, and then this w plus 2 is one term, it's just w plus 2 to the power of 1. Okay, so let's start with the base 3. Do you see anywhere else with the base of 3, just base 3? Yes, I see it right here, but since it's they're both to the power of 1, it's just 3. Okay, what about the next one would be w plus 2. Do you see anywhere else with the base of w plus 2? Keep in mind this is one term. Yes, I see it right here. Since they're both to the power of 1, it's just going to be w plus 2. Okay, so that's your LCD. Do not FOIL it out, just leave it as it is. Okay, and then once you know the LCD, the next step is you're actually going to solve for w by multiplying all sides. So we're going to all 3 sides by the LCD. So that is why I went over LCD, because the next lesson will be solving rational equations. Okay, yeah, that's it.